Actor par excellence. We've all watched her, loved her. She's a favorite of every household here in Karnataka. I bet I can safely say that. At least for my family adores Ramya. She turned to politics, had a successful stint there, but went missing briefly in the middle. Is back here today on our stage to tell us a little more about her life, what's been going on, what's happening, what's for the future, and how does she envision Karnataka and its political status. Thank you very much, Ramya, for joining us. If I can invite you on stage, we have a house full here to watch you and listen to you. Shiv Arur, our executive editor, going to be moderating this panel. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. And Divya, may I say, or Ramya, may I say, really good to see you after a long time. And I know that all your fans, because when we teased this session on social media, I had this huge flood of tweets saying the Queen is back and the Queen is bouncing back and things like that. So, first of all, a round of applause for Divya. I'd like to start, Divya, by congratulating you on your re-entry, it looks like, into politics after something of a hiatus. You've been named as a star campaigner for the Congress party in Karnataka. How did that happen? How did that happen? Who reached out to you? How did you agree to it? Because this is after a fair amount of a break.
KC Venugopalji and Surjewalaji reached out and they asked me if I would be willing to campaign, and I said yes. I may not be able to make it for all the events, but wherever I can and whenever I'm available, I will. So that's how it happened.
So how did you make that decision? Because Divya, you'd taken a bit of a break from politics. I mean, from a very high-profile kind of role. You exited politics, and a lot of people were wondering, hey, where's she gone?
Mm-hmm.
And now you're back. So you're going to be back in the spotlight once again, because this isn't a backroom operation. You're going to be a star campaigner. So you're going to be out there. So how did you take that decision?
I had decided to quit even before the general elections in 2019, and I had conveyed this to Rahulji, and I decided to quit solely on like health issues that I was going through at that point of time, and I needed a break. And he was, I mean, a little unwilling, but he said, "Well, you need it, so And I didn't like talk about it, so I think a lot of people, were wondering and curious, and there were obviously a lot of other reports doing the rounds. And at that point of time, I didn't bother clarifying, but then I realized after a point that it was everywhere I went, people would ask me about those rumors, and I was like, okay, I need to set it right, and then I spoke about it. But then I've always been supporting the Congress, and in fact, before these elections, the BJP also reached out to me because I think they also thought that there was something going on between me and the Congress, and I was like, very magnanimous of you, despite everything that I've said and criticized, the BJP and its leaders, but no, that's not happening.
So you're saying the BJP also reached out to you as a possible star campaigner?
Yes.
Or as or to fight on a ticket?
Yes, to contest the elections, yeah. And they said, Naleni Nimna Minister Martivi. And I think because, there are very few women in politics in Karnataka, and also the caste equation, as much as I don't like saying it, it is something that is considered. So I think from that angle, the sort of,
So who reached out to you? I mean, I know everything is in motion here in Karnataka.
From the top leadership too, They sent feelers and they also directly spoke with me, and I was like, no, that's not happening and everything is fine. And more than that, I think ideologically, I am more like a centrist, I'm more a liberal, so I don't hate the BJP. I just disagree with, some of the things that they stand for.
No, this is actually incredible. From taking a complete break from politics to both the parties wooing you. That's definitely news. And the BJP also offering you
and the JDS too, when I met...
So the JDS also...
I met...
the three parties were fighting over Divya, basically.
I met Kumar Swamiji at a salon.
At the salon?
Yeah. And he was like, I don't know, Ramya avare hegidira bahala varsha aitu, and ನೀವೇನಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿಟ್ರಿ politics, ನೀವು ಬರಲೇಬೇಕು and all of that. I was like, so okay. Yeah, and he was just, talking to me about politics, and he said, you have so much potential and you should come back to politics and you should, sort of, don't leave politics, is what he was trying to tell me.
Just to close the circle on this topic,
Yeah.
you had the three parties basically directly or indirectly asking you to come back and join them, but
Yeah.
you decided to go with the Congress because that's where your heart is.
Yeah.
Were you hoping for a ticket from the Congress party?
Well, they did offer me like 6 constituencies for the MLA elections, saying that, these are your options
Hmm.
and what would you like to do? And I said, I don't think I'm ready for it yet. So, yeah. But
On
I'm happy. Like, you don't have to like really contest to sort of support a party. You don't have to be in
Yeah.
electoral politics. Like, I did social media for them, and now I'm, sort of campaigning for them. I think every little thing that you do for the party in whatever little way you can is all, I mean, also
Yeah.
matters.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I'll come to the very interesting social media phase in just a moment. But Divya, the when you say you weren't ready for it and you were offered six constituencies and to take your pick for the Congress party, was it for health reasons? Because you didn't feel physically or mentally ready for it?
Yes. Yes. I don't think I'm there yet, but I'm on the road to recovery and sort of, trying to get back. And I think politics needs that kind of commitment, that kind of time, and it's something you can't just do, like you have to be on the ground, right? Electoral politics is
Yeah.
about being with the people and being there, and that needs that kind of commitment and time. And I don't think that I have that right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Between 2017 and 2019, Divya, you were a political celebrity. You know that, right? Apart from being
Controversial.
apart from being a film star, you were a political celebrity. Everyone was talking about you. I was in the newsroom, and I remember that as well. All of everyone knows that you were the one who crafted that entire social media manner of the Congress party. In many ways, sort of raised it from the dead, as it were. And then there was that very abrupt end to that. There was a spring in its step. There was a great deal of aggression, and then suddenly you just unplugged for health grounds. And I'm glad to glad to see you doing well and back in it. But as you rightly said, it left room for a lot of rumors.
Mhm.
And when I say rumors, I mean there was a large section that believed it was you who were frustrated with the Congress party, that there were people working against you within the party. There were people who were perhaps jealous of the access that you had with Rahul Gandhi and others. Was there an element of that as well, that you were burnt out by the work because you left before the election, not after the election?
Right, but I stayed through the elections,
Yeah.
and then but I put in my papers much before.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that happens, right? Because the political party, the structure itself is that, it's survival of the fittest, right? So everyone is trying to jostle for your space, for your position, and things like that. And they're very limited positions. So everybody's trying to, take away what you have. And that, of course, I dealt with on a daily basis. And also that, actresses and women are not necessarily taken seriously. So any suggestions and everything you put forward is just seen like, oh, okay, fine, whatever. So I think what helped was my work spoke for itself. So I think people did take me seriously. So I didn't face much resistance there. But I don't think I took that to heart. But yes, work was being made difficult. But then I think that's something you sort of work through, you learn to sort of maneuver your way and get stuff done.
Because Rahul Gandhi had practically handpicked you for that role.
Right.
And he clearly saw something right, because what you brought to the table as far as the social media role was concerned was there for everyone to see. Are you saying that despite the fact that Rahul Gandhi's proverbial hand was behind you or on your head, there were still people who were trying to pull you down, interrupt your work?
All the more, right? The
Yeah.
minute they see that there's someone who has that proximity to him or who's able to sort of influence things, there will be, more people who'd want to bring you down.
Mm.
Yeah, and I think I wish I didn't have that, and then things would have probably been easier. Nobody would have taken me seriously and just say, "Acha chalo," she's just doing something. But yeah, but I must thank him because when he asked me to do social media, I was like, really, like me? And he's like, no, no, I'm sure you can do it, and I know you will do it. So actually, he had more faith in me than I had. And some of the, you know, most viral things that we did were all ideas that he gave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And after you unplugged, at the time when you decided to get out of politics and take this break, did all these things that were happening within the Congress add to your mental strain, your emotional state? The reason why you decided your health comes first, the fact that you were working too hard and being sort of interrupted at every step.
I don't think it was the Congress as such. The BJP is equally very hardworking,
Mm.
right? So they really made me run.
Yeah.
Like we had a lot of work to do. It was
Yeah.
very stressful. You know, there was so much misinformation out there, and there were like all these things, you know, being said online. I literally ran it like a news corporation, and you know, it was like 24/7. We didn't know when the BJP would tweet something or some incident would happen, and you have to be there. You can't let the ball drop. So I think that can, and I'm not used to that life, right? Like being an actress, you shoot 9 to 6. Sometimes weekend you don't shoot. You have someone to hold your umbrella. You have someone to put your shoes on for you, and you're literally doing everything yourself. So I enjoyed it, no complaints whatsoever. But yeah, I think whatever happened happened on its own. I don't think it's got to do so much with the job that I was doing.
Because you've been a Lok Sabha MP. You're not a. It's not like you were randomly parachuted into the social media role. You've been an elected representative briefly in the Lok Sabha, and so you know what political life is like. Are you looking forward to a bigger role now? Are you seeing this as a first step towards a larger political role?
I think it really depends on one's capabilities and what you're able to do for the party. So I feel like if they think that I can win them a seat, then maybe electoral politics. If they think that I'm someone who's better at strategy or doing something, you know, with the party communication or even like in charge of a state, I'm okay, really. I'm okay with anything.
Because just before you entered the the social media space of the Congress, Divya, and you know this perhaps better than anyone, it was a pretty sleepy kind of operation. Mild mannered and not edgy, that the word which we love using, and you brought that kind of spunk and edge to the Congress's messaging, especially on social media. Do you see that as your legacy? Because after that, that has been what the Congress's social media's tone and tenor has been. If you look at it now, it is like super edgy, very, very aggressive, on the button as far as every single topic is concerned. That's something that you brought in first. So do you still look at it and say, this is what I gave birth to and it's still going strong?
I'm really happy, and also because a lot of the team that we put in together is still there, and they're still sort of taking this forward. So I'm still in touch with them. I chat with them, and yeah, they're still there. I think they're doing a really good job.
Do you think the Congress was late in realizing the worth of social media? Because at the time when you took it over, there was a sense of distance. Not a great amount of importance paid to social media. Now it's completely the opposite. Now the Congress is completely on the front foot as far as social media is concerned.
Yeah, I think back in 2014, I don't think the Congress was using social media much, but it was also people just moving into the social media space, right? A lot of people didn't know of Twitter, but now you have a lot more users. Instagram, I think Facebook is pretty much, I don't know, passe. I don't know how many people use Facebook anymore, but
Yeah,
yeah, but Instagram and Twitter,
yeah.
yeah.
During your hiatus from politics, Divya, have you stayed in touch with Rahul Gandhi? Has Rahul Gandhi stayed in touch with you?
Um, yeah, like, yeah, sort of, yeah.
Because in a couple of recent interviews, you've talked about how he was there for you in a difficult time. Tell us a little bit about that.
Um, so I lost my father in 2013 when I was filing for the nomination, on the day of filing the nomination, and I was very close to him. Um, he's not my biological father, but he's someone, I mean,
Yeah.
he's the father I never had. And I was very, very close to him, and I lost him on the day of filing my nomination. And I didn't know anything about politics. I didn't know what upper house, lower house, Vidhan Sabha, Lok Sabha, nothing. And I didn't know my constituency, Mandya, at all. And I think with that, I think it came as a shock to me, and it was a very, very low phase for me. And I didn't want to contest that election, but I did. And 10 days later, I was in parliament, and I didn't get any time to grieve. And I think it was through this period that I sort of, started to ask those kind of existential questions. And I think it was through my work that I actually found some kind of, I don't know, probable answers. And it was after I lost the election that I met Rahul ji, and we sort of exchanged contact with each other. And then I think he sort of, through that period, you know, sort of, helped me through it. And he introduced me to Vipassana and Advaita Vedanta and Zen Buddhism and things like that. So I think that sort of really helped me. Um, I lost complete hope of life, and I contemplated the extreme at times. And I think if not for him, I don't think I would be back here today doing what I'm doing. Yeah.
The Congress party and its the media cells, as it were, Divya, are often criticized of being almost completely dedicated to constantly repackaging and selling Rahul and recrafting him for public consumption. As someone who was entrusted in some ways with with the selling the idea of Rahul to voters, uh, what is your assessment of the Bharat Jodo Yatra and the manner in which Rahul has now been projected to the people? He's called himself a tapasvi.
I don't know
He's
that.
taking during the Bharat Jodo Yatra. He said, he's a tapasvi. There is this the whole Adani issue has become a big thing that he's taken up as his big issue, like Rafale during 2018, 2019, which you're familiar with. What do you think of this image of Rahul that has now been painted?
I don't think there needs to be any repackaging or anything or trying to sell him. I think it's there for people to see. And I think, going by the circumstances, the environment in the country today, I think if there's one person who's really speaking the truth and not backing off, despite being stripped of his MP status and his house and everything, he's still speaking about it. Nobody else is, no one from the film industry. I'm sorry, but nobody in the media, nobody's talking about it, only he is. So I think that kind of courage, that kind of bravery, I don't think anyone else is displaying that. I think only he is. And I think that's there for people to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a small interjection. As far as India Today is concerned, we've been raising all of the issues. There are many others who don't, but
Great.
India Today group, no fear or favor. We ask all the questions from all sides, but I know who you're talking about. But on the issue of Rahul, he's begun his campaign here in Karnataka. There are going to be lots of rallies. I was here in 2018, and I remember it was like this mad war of rallies. Rahul, Modi, and all the big guns. Do you think there is a Rahul factor that matters in an election like Karnataka, where the issues are so staunchly local, and the Congress this time is trying desperately to keep them as local as possible?
I think you need someone of some stature who will come and speak to the people and people actually listen to them. But I think the issues to be spoken about would be local.
Yeah.
I think Kannada, the language, our culture, the corruption of the BJP, this 40% commission, whatever, all of those things. I think those things will matter.
Do you think because the Congress party this time has it's pretty apparent even from far away in Delhi where we report this from that they're picking and choosing the narrative and the issues that sort of
Yes.
hinge on Kannada pride,
Yeah.
regional identity, Amul versus Nandini, and things like that. What is your assessment of that? You think that's a good thing?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Hindi imposition, Kannada pride, state-owned, entities versus, trying to get national into. I think those definitely matter for sure. Yeah, I think the narrative here is good, but there has to be more of a campaign. Like I don't know what the slogan is. Do you know
Hmm.
what it is?
We'll get to the slogans in just a
don't know what
moment
it is.
because I do have a couple of questions on slogans versus slogans. But the BJP in some ways is trying to make this a bigger than Karnataka election. National issues. The Congress, like I said, conversely, is trying to focus as hard as it can on keeping it as local as possible because it feels it's a disadvantage if the issues get nationalized and it becomes like a Rahul versus Modi kind of thing. Do you think that's what it is?
I think it's a
The Congress is
disadvantage for
treading a
the.
path where they don't want it to become a personality clash between Rahul and Modi.
No, 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 no. I think here the BJP is on the back foot because the local issues are so strong and they are disadvantaged there. Like I said, because of the corruption and things like that. So I don't think that um, the Congress is trying to keep it more local and not national, and the BJP is trying to make it more. I mean, to each their own, right? I mean, to each their own. They're trying to take advantage of each other's weaknesses. But here, I know the public really cares only about the issues, like local issues, like what really matters to them. I don't think that 2014 thing. I think Rajdeep wrote a book, na. I don't think that
I was
wave.
about to quote from it actually.
I don't think that wave is there anymore. I don't think. I mean, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I want to talk about the other hat you wear, which is the first hat actually, which is as a film star, as a superstar, and no doubt that that's part of what the Congress wants to draw on as a with you as a star campaigner.
I'm very disappointed you said that. I thought I was worth more than just that.
That was 100% compliment, believe me, fully a compliment. I'm just saying, Divya, and this is not a loaded question. I'm genuinely asking because you've had a specific role in the Congress. You've been an MP before. They offer they were raining MLA tickets on you, and you said no. What do you think you're going to bring to the table this time as a film star as well? I mean,
See, I've been there and I know that film stars don't really swing votes. And even if they do, it must be like very small margin. But I do think that, if you're going to a particular constituency, it's easier for the candidate to get people to come
crowds.
and sort of, yeah, listen to what they have to say. Otherwise, I think basically all parties just pay people to come to these events. And whereas with the star campaigner, it's much easier to get the crowds because even though they're just coming to see the person, you're also in an advantage that they get to hear what you have to say about issues and whatever. So I think in that sense it helps, right? Because that's all politics is about. You need the crowds, you need people to listen to you and then make an informed decision and then sort of vote for the candidate.
Because the Congress made it something of a virtue of not enlisting a bunch of film stars. The BJP has got Kicha Sudeep on its ranks as far as the star campaign is concerned, especially for the incumbent chief minister. What did you think of that?
Well, he and I were in we're good friends.
Yeah.
So when he told me that he's not sure should he not, so I sort of we were having a chat, and I think he did meet people from the Congress and the BJP as well, and then
Was he also wooed by both?
of
Also
course,
wooed by the
yeah,
Congress? Yeah.
yeah. And I think finally he decided to go with Bombay Mama, as he calls him. For I think he knows him personally, and he just thought that he would campaign for him. Yeah.
But did he tell you why he decided that?
He's just said for reasons. He didn't really, and I didn't probe. It's his personal decision. But I do think that, he should sort of get into politics at some point because I think that he has potential and I think he can sort of make a difference.
Do you think, apart from the crowds coming in, do you think that any party that enlists a lot of star power is signaling that it is on the back foot? Do you think the BJP is weak in Karnataka and that's why it needs star power?
No, because like I said, even they know that stars don't really swing votes for them. It's just a very, very small margin. It's not something. So I think it's just like I said, like you bring in the crowds and you sort of, speak to them. I don't think that having or not having is really going to make a difference. That's my personal opinion. Yeah.
Speaking about hung houses, which Karnataka is so used to, saw it happen in 2018. It's happened a few times before that as well. As someone who's now going to jump right into the politics, and you will be expected to know everything that's going on. What do you think? Do you think, because most people think that the JDS is just rubbing its hands in glee on the sidelines, waiting to be kingmaker once again or king, like the last time? Do you think that's a possibility?
I think it's too early because here elections is just the last 2 days, that's really like something that will tell you which way it's going to go. I think right now it's too early, but I do think that Congress has an edge, and I do think that Congress is in a better position than it was in 2018. And I do think that JDS is doing like an aggressive campaign because, like you said, they want to be the kingmaker again. But I feel really for the people of Karnataka, and I think they should really go out and vote like in majority, because we don't want another hung assembly and then another Operation Kamala. I don't know, 12 point. I've forgotten whatever the number is, because then the people really suffer. So I really hope that they see what is happening and they really go and vote for whoever it is in majority. And I'm hoping it's the Congress, but yeah.
2022, Divya, was marked by one polarizing issue after another here in Karnataka, and I'm sure you looked at all of them. What did you think of that? There was the hijab issue, there was the halal issue, there was the azan issue, there was the chapters in textbooks, Muslim traders. It was almost non-stop through 2022. It was a continuous narrative. What kind of message, in your view, does that send out to an electorate?
it means it means that the BJP has nothing else to talk about, right? If you have like a great economy and you have jobs and you have development, then I don't think you'll be bringing this whole Hindutva narrative. I think when they push that, that okay, the BJP is trying to digress from the real issues, and that puts the rest of us in a very difficult position because that's a very sensitive topic to maneuver for all the parties. But I think it's important to sort of keep the narrative strong on local issues, no matter how much they try and speak about things that actually don't really matter.
You were in your role as someone who was in charge of the Congress's image at one point of time, and I just have a couple more political questions, and then let's talk about film. Is Do you think that the Congress is going the right way? The narrative, the things that they're talking about, many of them are echoes of what happened in 2018, 2019. Some believe that the Rafale issue then, and I'm not saying qualitatively, but the doggedness with which it's being followed is like the Adani issue now. There are differences within the opposition. As someone who used to be in charge of the image of the Congress party, is there anything you would change in terms of messaging, narrative? Not just for Karnataka, I mean, even for 2024.
I think the Congress, at least as far as the communication of, let's say, Rahul ji and the main leaders, is always to speak the truth, right? Whether it was Rafale or whether it is the Adani issue, I think truth has to be spoken, right? I mean, it has to be told. So I think in that sense, I think we should keep that going. But also at the same time, I think don't make it only about that, because there are other issues as well that we need to be talking about. It's like, for example, in Karnataka, I think they're getting it right when you're talking about things that matter to the people of Karnataka. If you bring in Rafael and if you bring in like other issues, I don't think people really resonate with that, because they're like my village, my roads, my light, and things like that. I think those are things that need to be like development and jobs. I think those are very important.
So are you saying, I'm not putting words in your mouth, but are you saying that that was one of the mistakes of 2018, 2019, that Rahul Gandhi and the leadership of the Congress took the Rafale issue into the countryside and the heartland, thinking that it would resonate when it wouldn't?
Actually, that's because in Karnataka we have HAL, right? And there were so many jobs lost, and actually we could have done what he gave the contract to Anil Ambani, right? I mean, he didn't have any experience in it, and the company just opened like 10 days before, and HAL had the capacity to do it, but the contract went to him. And I think that was important, imperative to be spoken in Karnataka because we have HAL here, and there are so many jobs depending on it. Apart from that, I think that the Congress really needs the help of the media, right? You need someone who will carry your message. And I think today people consume information through the phone, through news. And I don't think we get that kind of space in the media. Like, for example, the Prime Minister speaks to Ishwarappa, and that's like headlines. You know what I'm saying? But then Rahul ji gets, I mean, stripped of his MP status because he says something in context to why are Modi thieves in respect to Nirav Modi and who's the other one? Nirav Modi and Mehul Chopra. No, no, not Mehul Chopra. Lalit Modi, right? And for that, I mean, and there are people who are really corrupt and who are just roaming around freely, like people who've killed people. Let's say in the whole farmers' rally, right? They're still there, you know. But that's what I'm saying. We need the help of the media. Otherwise, you're always going to criticize the Congress and say they're not doing enough, they're not saying this, they're not saying that, or when they say something, okay, this is not up to it, or whatever.
Believe me when I say, Divya, for every BJP story we cover at least 2 Congress stories. I don't think you're ever going to see an event in this country where you've got Amit Shah and then DK Shivakumar and then Mr. Siddaramaiah back to
Yeah.
back at an event.
Yeah, I mean,
India
no,
Today
that.
is the only group that can do that, and it's because of the credibility of our leadership and our journalism as well. Again, I know who you're talking about, but it's not us. But
Yeah, it's not
and
you.
and finally, to the last couple of, because we're almost out of time, and I do want to ask this. The film industry, and I feel personally offended when people say South Indian film. Being from Karnataka myself, we are so diverse here in the South, so many different languages. There's no such thing as a South Indian film, but there is this big thing in Bollywood right now. Films from the South versus Bollywood. You've sort of dipped your toes into the water of film production now.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that whole sort of dangle between the South and Bollywood, as it were, in terms of film?
I mean, as much as I don't like seeing South Indian films, I think for now we're in the spotlight and we just have to be really proud about it. Because always, like when you speak about films in India, it's always been Hindi films, right? Nobody really speaks of Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, and Malayalam makes great films, by the way. So I think
Some of the
it's,
best, yeah.
yeah. So now I'm quite happy that, even if they're saying, okay, we're in competition with the South Indian film industry, somehow it makes me a little happy. Like I'm proud that, they're talking about us.
Not just competition. I mean, the films from the South
Yeah.
are,
Yeah, breaking box office records.
there's no
And yeah,
comparison.
yeah.
Bollywood's like lying battered in front of films from the South at this point.
Yeah, but Patan did well. So yeah, but the sad thing though is there are no OTT takers for Kannada films like Netflix, for example. They buy Tamil and Telugu or even Malayalam, but they don't buy Kannada films at all. It's some policy that they have. So despite the fact that Kannada films are doing so well, whether it's Kantara or KGF2, there are no takers. So producing a Kannada film is still really difficult. You have Amazon who will only take a film only after it's released in the theaters. Sony is not buying, and you only have Voot and you have Z. So options are very limited. So if you make a film and it does its theatrical run, and then even if the OTT wants to take it, it's a very nominal amount that they pay you. So still making films in Kannada is still not very easy.
I'm sure all of the OTT players have heard you say that right
I
now.
hope Netflix is listening.
I hope they are, and I know they are actually. But my final question to you, and this is actually from all of your fans, Divya, which is, what next for you? You've produced a film. When are we going to see you again on TV, on screen? What are your
Are you
plans
seeing
next?
me now? Are we not on TV right now?
Yeah, but this is non-fiction.
No, I think okay, whatever. So I'm producing a film called Swati Muttina Malehaniye, and it's ready to be released. And then I'm making a comeback in a film called Uttarakhanda, and then of course I'm going to be campaigning. So you'll see a lot of me.
Wish you the very best, Divya, and thank
you,
you so
Shiv.
much for being here and being so candid with
No,
us.
no,
Thank you
thank
so
you
much.
so much for having me, and thank you for being so nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.